too good. Let me move on. So again, I'm coming at you with more spring picks. Today we're focusing more on the longevity, something that's going to get you through the entire day. Again, today's list is more budget focused. I feel like the springtime may be a time where more people are getting into the hobby or just, are less experienced. So, while you're getting your feet wet, I don't want you to feel like you have to spend too much money getting into the, world of fragrance. And yeah, springtime is perfect to kind of introduce yourself to new fragrances, new families of notes. And, everything I picked here today is, while, appropriate for spring, I think they're all pretty varied in their delivery. We'll go ahead and get started with Hawas Verde. Everything on this list should be $50 and under at the time of recording. You do some hunting out there, I'm sure you can find deals that are even better than that 50 or less kind of price point I'm mentioning, but I do want to just create a safe baseline. I don't want to guarantee that they will be cheaper than that essentially, but they definitely won't be more than that. I'll get it on tester first, and we'll go through the breakdown and why I selected it. Oh my gosh. It is a Hawas interpretation of Torino 21. Some people do say they get a very small touch of Pacific chill. I could maybe see that in the nature of, just feels cooling and watery. But yeah, the main emphasis is really that citric, highly herbal, green kind of opening. You do get a slight musk, slightly sweeter as it continues to dry down. I will say Torino 21 as well is, somewhat synthetic of a blend. I don't think it's necessarily aiming to be like the most natural smelling green fragrance out there, but I think it really does the job well. Again, very cooling, refreshing, and as the video entails, long lasting as well. For me, that 7 to 8 hour mark is kind of appropriate. I think you can likely get more as well if you're really well hydrated, you have moist skin. Those things are really important too. It's not going to be purely just the fragrance. There's other parameters to consider. I will say within the list, this is going to be the most refreshing, most uplifting fragrance. But again, I didn't want to pick 3 of the same type of fragrance. Even if the notes were different, I didn't want to go with 3 cooling fragrances. But this is going to be, a surefire win if this is a DNA you like. Again, in every video, I'm always going to encourage you to go ahead and get a sample if you can, or sample your friends if they have it, just to ensure you like it. I could see this being a little too green and a little too intense, especially in that opening for a lot of people. So yeah, go ahead, get your nose on it and let me know what you think. But yeah, it'll get the job done if you need something long lasting for the spring and summer. Oh, too good. Let me move on. All right, I do have Blue Oud from Ahmed on Maghribi. This one is probably the most unique scent profile on here. Not necessarily saying it's like trying to be a niche fragrance. It's definitely interesting to me that it's able to pull this scent profile off, in the hotter weather. It focuses on a lot of bergamot and cypress as well. I think even the leaves on the back, I'll get some B-roll of it, but the leaves on the back of the bottle, I believe, are a cypress leaf. And then into the dry down, you have leather. So it's very interesting. I wouldn't have initially thought this would work in the spring, but I think really this is going to be an all year type of fragrance. Again, for me, it does last at least 7 to 8 hours. I have talked to a few people within the community, just even in some of my other videos, that they do have problems with longevity on this. So yeah, this one may vary a little bit regarding how well it does for you. So again, try to get your nose on it, get a sample, get it on skin, and just see how you react to it. I love it, but yeah, again, this may be the least long lasting of the 3 here, just dependent on your skin chemistry. Let's go ahead and get it on tester though, and we'll talk about more of the kind of breakdown, the feelings that I get from this fragrance. I will say the Blue Oud name is kind of interesting. I don't think it entirely invokes what the fragrance has in terms of, I don't think there's actually oud in it. The blue aspect, yeah, I could kind of see, especially the opening, almost kind of smells like again, more of an herbal take on something like a Bleu de Chanel DNA. Again, it's not trying to be that fragrance at all, but I think that is kind of where the blue aspect leans more. And then you get the Middle Eastern nuances on top of that. I think there is some type of florals in here as well, giving it a touch more sweetness as well. And in my wearing experiences, I'm actually surprised this is more compliment worthy or just mass appealing than I had realized it would be. Sometimes I envision leather notes not really being in that, mass appealing sector, but at least the way it's done here, while it's very present in the entire wearing experience, I think it does come off, you know, not too rubbery, not too animalic, not too intense. It's just blended very well. I think that's really where the highlight of this fragrance comes in. It's just everything that's included in the fragrance is just blended nicely. And yeah, it's very pleasurable to wear. I've had a lot of good memories with this fragrance. I've had it quite a while compared to a lot of the other bottles in my collection. And again, you know, this is just my experience, so I definitely encourage you to get those samples if you can. All right, on to the next. Overall, I feel like this is a pretty slept on release, Infinity from Armaf. This is doing a recreation essentially of L'Homme Ultime from YSL. I don't know how long ago it was that came out. That production cycle was pretty short, I believe, so yeah, it was discontinued pretty fast. As it seems a lot of L'Homme flankers are honestly, yeah, kind of just created and gone within, you know, a very short time frame. Of course, you know, you still have the classics in the line that I'm sure will always be there, but this one I think a lot of people have wanted to get their nose on. Very refreshing, light rose fragrance. Just love how it's mixed in with this grapefruit citrus and ginger, so it just feels very sparkly and uplifting. Again, not as cooling and refreshing as the Hawas Verde, but you're gonna really enjoy this fragrance if you're, you know, into that light rose touch. And it does last a long time, just it's very Ambroxan heavy, wood heavy, maybe ISOE super or some kind of, you know, wood molecule as well. So all of those base notes really are boosting the performance of this. I'll go get this on tester and just talk about the wearing experience a bit. Oh man, this is so good. Again, yeah, just the word sparkly comes to mind the most. Uplifting in a different way than the Hawas Verde. But yeah, this one is so enjoyable. I've never experienced a rose kind of built like this before. While it is obvious that it's a rose fragrance, I just love the way it's mixing with everything else. You do still get the signature cardamom note that's in this line. It's dialed back, I would say, but it just works beautifully with all the other notes and again with the rose. And then the apple geranium accords in there are giving you that touch of sweetness. Again, very well balanced in its approach to the fragrance. I do wish I could compare it to the original. Perhaps there are samples out there still, but likely getting a full discontinued bottle, you know, that's going to be pretty up there in price. And I think, again, this is delivering a lot of value for what you're paying. This has been out for quite some time, so you can probably get it cheaper. I think I got it around the, you know, $38 to $40 mark. Again, that was quite some time ago. So really all three of these are really well executed and get the job done. Gonna last you all day. I think the beautiful thing is all three of these can be dressed up or down, and you know, you could pull these off if you want to be more formal. Absolutely, you could use any of these. I'd say, you know, Blue Oud and the Infinity Silver are probably the most formal leaning if you want them to be, but you know, absolutely Verde, you know, that's gonna be a green citrus that could work very well, you know, dressed in a nice setting. But again, yeah, you know, you can keep this chill too. I love wearing these in various settings. Absolutely business appropriate as well. You know, if you feel like you don't want to be overly invasive, you know, just do less sprays of it. But yeah, I like this roundup right here. You're getting something that really could be your signature scent and can work in any occasion, really. Absolutely spring summer approved. I don't think you can go wrong with any of these picks, but again, the profiles are quite different. So, you know, just see which ones are most ideal for you, kind of what you already have in your collection. And again, of course, sample if you can. I really do encourage that. None of these are highly niche or like artisanal in their build, but you know, I think they do stand out a lot. So you just want to make sure that they're kind of the right build for you. I think that pretty well wraps it up for today. Again, let me know if you want to see the mid-tier version of this list, you know, spring, summer fragrances that'll just last you a bit longer. And of course, you know, in the comments, let me know what you would add to this list. Again, I only did 3 today. There's so many other fragrances out there. There's some in my collection I could have added as well, but these are some that I've talked about a little less on the channel, and you know, I don't want to be overly redundant every video. Just want to give you guys a different taste if I can. But again, I can't wait to hear what you have to add to the list as well. You know, I'm always curious to see your preferences as well. And as always, thank you for being here. I appreciate, you know, all the feedback and the views you guys have been giving me. You know, I'm always happy to, you know, hear what your criticisms are or what kind of video ideas you'd like me to tackle next. This is really all about me helping you at the end of the day. So again, I appreciate you. And you know, your likes, your subscribes, everything really means a lot to me. I'll see you in another. Take care.